CNN Baseball 88 with Gary Miller.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our last show of the first half of the baseball season. I'm Gary Miller, and ahead in this half hour, a reunion for Willie, Mickey, and the Duke, as well as all our regular features, but not a one-on-one. Instead, we've gone one better and brought our subject into the studios to start the show. We try to introduce you to not only the most interesting personalities from the Diamond each week, but also the true talents. The Expos' Andres Galarraga has been among the National League's most productive players throughout the first half. A native of Caracas, Venezuela, Galarraga still makes his home there in the offseason, but during the summer, he makes life miserable for National League pitchers. The man they call the Big Cat is mounting a serious threat to be the National League's first Triple Crown winner since Ducky Medwick more than 50 years ago. Galarraga leads in batting, hits, runs, tied for second in homers, third in doubles, sixth in RBIs, and 8 of which have won games for Montreal, including Friday right here in Atlanta. Andres, first of all, welcome to our show. Welcome to the leaderboard. What's it feel like to look at the standings each day? Because I know the players watch this a lot, and there's Galarraga at the head of batting, at the head of hits, RBIs.
Well, I feel really happy for that, and I think it's my best time in the baseball in my life. I have to keep going like I'm working. I'm really happy.
You know, there's a lot of talk that you could win the Triple Crown, and it's a very elusive thing. It's only been done 17 times in the history of baseball. Do you think about that at all?
Well, I think I got a lot of chance for do that, but I know how to put. I don't want to put in my mouth for putting any pressure on myself. Just play the game, relax, enjoying the game, and try to do my best all the time.
What's the toughest part of that? It's the batting average, RBIs, home runs. Which part do you think would be the toughest for you to win?
Well, I think in home run, I got a lot of competition in this league for home runners. I got a good team. Like, I got Tim Rain, Oren Nathan, Wester, a lot of guys running good, and, before me. I think I got a lot of chance to make a lot of RBIs this season because, that guys getting base all the time.
Okay, well, you got a whole half to keep up with. You've made the All-Star team based on those numbers, and the 79th edition of the All-Star game is being staged at the site of the sport's original franchise, Cincinnati. Here's who the fans voted into the starting lineups Tuesday night, beginning with the visiting American League. Oakland placed 3 players in the starting lineup with a huge showing at the ballot box. Terry Steinbach is a glaring example of the dearth of high-quality catching in the American League. He's hitting .217 and barely outballoted Carlton Fisk, who hasn't played. Mark McGuire is nowhere near his Rookie of the Year pace when he appeared at home in last year's All-Star game, but his power numbers are solid. He'll start at first. Paul Molitor hasn't played second in more than a year for Milwaukee, but he'll open there for the All-Stars thanks to pre-produced ballots. The Tigers' Alan Trammell is tearing it up and torn up. Cal Ripken will start in his place, and Wade Boggs completes the infield. The other A is Jose Canseco, flanked by a pair of Yankees in the outfield, Dave Winfield and Ricky Henderson. The National League has perennial All-Star Gary Carter behind the plate. Will Clark in his debut, a familiar DP combo in Ryan Sandberg and Ozzie Smith, and another first-timer on the other side of the infield, Bobby Bonilla. The outfield has a second Met, Cub, and Cardinal, Strawberry, Dawson, and Coleman. Backing the starting 8 up on the AL side will be George Brett, his first appearance at first, but his 13th All-Star game overall. Amongst the other reserves are 2 more Twins and another A, with Seattle's Harold Reynolds the first Mariner ever to earn the honor in consecutive seasons. The National League backups provide more of the 18 total first-time players: Dunston, Galarraga, Larkin, Law, Perry. In fact, all the fill-in field players except Lance Parrish and Willie McGee. Despite his successes and longevity, this is Detroit's Doyle Alexander's debut in the Midsummer Classic. 14-game winner Frank Viola and reliever Jeff Reardon give Tom Kelly 5 of his own players to work with overall. The National League has a blue hue. For the first time in more than 50 years, half a dozen Cubs are on the team, with Greg Maddux the most deserving of all. There were several interesting or overt omissions. The National League under Whitey Herzog is bringing only 2 relievers, and while he overlooked his own National League ERA leader John Tudor, the Mets' Randy Myers is considered by many to now be the league's premier closer. He'll be at home. The most curious cut for the AL, Cleveland's Joe Carter hitting over .280 with 16 homers and 62 RBI. Let's bring back our guest, Andres Galarraga, now. And Andres, even with better statistics than a guy like Joe Carter put up, numbers that certainly declared all-star value, did you have doubts that you might earn this honor?
Well, that's difficult to say because, it's a lot of good play in the league. Both leagues are tough, to pick around the all-star team because a lot of players stay outside the team doing great. I think it's, I have to take a look to, get in defense inside, and yeah.
It means a lot to you, though.
Yeah.
Okay, and you told me that you hit well in that ballpark, so we can look for big things on Tuesday. On our way to Tuesday comes some serious series this weekend, most notably in the American League. For much of this first half, the A's have enjoyed the best record in baseball, and while they have the most wins in the AL, they no longer have the best record in that league after getting bombed for 5 homers Thursday in Detroit. The divisional leaders dueled again Friday in Tiger Stadium. Eric King getting his first start of the season for the Tigers in front of 37,000, facing Mark McGwire, who's pulling out of a long slump, blasting his 16th home run of the year into the upper deck. 3-0 Oakland, but the Tigers come back in the 7th. With 2 on, Matty Noakes drills this shot up the middle. Chet Lemon scores, and the Tigers pull eventually within a run of Tony La Russa, but then he goes to his ace. Dennis Eckersley against Mike Heath gets the last out of the game. Eckersley well on his way to more than 50 saves. That's his 26th of the season. The Twins lost. A's are now up by 4.5. Tigers still lead the Yanks by 3. Now to the National League in a key showdown in the Astrodome. Dwight Gooden, who was 10-1 lifetime against the Astros, but in trouble most of the night from the very start. Here in the first, Glenn Davis drills his 60th RBI. Bill Doran comes home. Astros break a scoreless tie. But Gooden has now lost 4 of his last 6. He just didn't have it against Houston. Gerald Young goes the opposite way. Rafael Ramirez comes flying. The Astros go on to win it 4-2. Bob Knepper pitched a 4-hitter. He's now 9-2. Houston ends a 5-game losing streak. They are 6.5 games out. The Expos assaulted Atlanta last night and have now won 8 of 9, 5 straight, and they dropped their deficit under double figures, 9.5 games out. Andres, last year you finished just 4 back. You were in it until the last week of the season. How do you feel going into the second half? Do you have the momentum? Can you contend? Can you give the Mets a run?
Well, we got a good team. We start play better right now. We start score more runs. We got Tim Rain. He'll be Wallach. Starts so far really good. Like everybody knows that kind of players. But this guy is starting playing good now. We start playing together, score more runs. I think we got a lot of chance right now to go. We got a good enthusiasm. We play together, good enthusiasm in the team. I think it's a good team for us because, like special team Rain, that guy is, he's great, inside, outside the stadium. His enthusiasm in the team. When that kind of guy in the team, I think so we got a lot of chance.
Okay. 9.5 games, a lot to make up on the Mets, and a lot will determine how you play against them in the second half could determine what happens in the National League East. We got more with Andres as well as Friday's most unusual events when we come back.
Soar beyond your...
From the headlines on the sports page to the feature section from the field, and focus on some of the funniest and most fantastic moments from Friday. Let's begin in the stands, and quite a consumer at Comiskey Park, not wanting to waste a single item from the popcorn. Michael Dukakis not enjoying baseball, although he's running for the presidency. The national pastime didn't appear to be his favorite sport. From Yogi Berra in the dugouts to a bizarre play between the socks of white and red. Harold Baines gets the stop sign, then the go from the catcher. Randy Kutcher tries to make up, and he blows the play. The White Sox embarrassed Boston in the first game. We'll have more of that in a moment. First, the indecision of Eric King cost him a base runner and gave the A's an eventual victory. Game 2, a different story for Boston as they bombed Chicago, especially Ellis Burks, who hit this solo shot in the second inning, then came back in the 5th and hit a 2-run homer, his 10th of the season. The big story, though, the Sox had 9 straight hits. That's 1 shy of the American League record for consecutive hits. Back to the first game and some spectacular defense by the All-Star. Ozzie Guillen comes charging in bare hands and gets his man. Next to Montreal and Atlanta. Tim Wallach, not on the All-Star team this year, but still showing some spectacular defensive play to rob Ronnie Gant. Tracy Woodson hits this blast, and this is one of the most spectacular plays of the season. Andy Van Slyke on Darnell Coles. Coles comes diving over Van Slyke, makes the catch, and preserves a 4-3 win for the Pirates. Van Slyke also knocked in 3 runs, as Pittsburgh is now 5.5 out. We get almost every game that's available on satellite on a given night, and that includes this occasionally from one of the stations which carries the Expos.
De 500 carrières contre Rick Miller.
La balle est claquée avec assez de
This is what an Andres Galarraga RBI sounds like in French.
se dirige vers le marbre, le relais beaucoup trop tard. Simple et un 54e point produit pour Galarraga.
Andres, you're from Venezuela, playing an American game in a mostly French-speaking city. What's it like to play in Montreal, especially for you?
Well, it's a great city, Montreal, nice, fans. You know, we got different languages over there, but that's fine. I'm enjoying that because, you know, I'm coming from Spanish language from Venezuela, and we have to speak in 3 languages. You know, I don't speak in French neither, a lot. This couple work, so it's enjoying, nice guys. We got American team anyway. We got, you know, a lot of American people in the team that, you know, we don't see the difference too much inside the team.
Well, I think what you hear a lot from the stands is muy bien. Best of luck to you the second half. We'll see you in Cincinnati. Hope you have a great All-Star game and a great second half. Thanks for being with us today, Andres.
Thank you very much.
Still ahead here, the Major League equivalents of the past of today's Andres Galarraga. We'll bring you Willie, Mickey, and the Duke together again. National Sports Collectors Convention in Atlantic City. They're expecting as many as 75,000 baseball card carnivores to converge on the coast. While they'll have the numbers, last weekend here in Atlanta, an occurrence rarer than a Triple Crown. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke in person. Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, and Duke Snyder. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke with the Giants, Yankees, and Dodgers. Forever associated as a team, although they played as arch rivals. Together in the Hall of Fame, and immortalized in song, but seldom seen together. Only once since they retired had they appeared in unison, until the 4th of July weekend in Atlanta, and a card show with explosive drawing power.
It's not very often our schedules will permit us to be together, but this weekend is it. We're having a lot of fun, and it's really neat to be with them.
I think it's a special thing where if we can get together and do these type of things for people, I think that would be, great.
Mickey draws the highest fee for applying ink to the various memorabilia, and each is hawking a book, Mays and Snyder having had theirs most recently published, but they're used to the friendly rivalry.
I have a restaurant in New York, and Duke was up the other day to kick off his book, The Duke of Flatbush, and I had him to sign one for me, and he put to Mickey, the greatest of them all, almost, Duke Snyder. I really liked that.
We knew exactly what each guy was doing every day, so it was one of those things that if I didn't know, the people knew, and they would tell me, so I had to know about Mick.
Willie and I'd kid each other once in a while. I'd say, I got you by 2 RBIs, and he said, yeah, I'm hitting 10 points higher or something. We both laughed. But the comparisons were quite unique. It's never happened since, where you had 3 guys that got into the Hall of Fame playing in the same city at the same time, playing the same position, but we had a good time.
Although to many fans they exist only in old photos and the fables of their fathers, if anything, their stars are shining as brightly as ever.
You don't know this guy back here, do you?
It's just amazing how, if you look around, you see all the, kids and all the people come. It's just fantastic.
I'm amazed because that I am as popular as I am, because I retired in 1969, the spring of 1969, and for about 3 or 4 years, it just seemed like Mickey Mantle died, I just went back to Dallas and sat there. And then all of a sudden, these baseball card deals started coming along, and my cards started getting popular, and all of a sudden, there's a resurgence. It's like I'm more popular now than I was when I played baseball.
The Baseball Buddies Card Shop produced a unique reunion for this summer's show. I asked them how they could ever top it, and they confided it's already in the works. Short of bringing them back to the plate, for 50s fans from New York, there is no way to top this. Willie may have the most home runs, Duke the most charm, but the Mick continues to be the most bankable. The going rate for his 1952 rookie card is $6,000, the most of any modern-day player. We've earned our paychecks for another week. It's off to Cincinnati, where we'll bring you back plenty for upcoming shows. Thanks to Anders Galarraga for being with us, and thanks to you, too. We'll see you next week.